Hi everybody, it's Corbin, and today I'm going to be bringing back a series from the past, my Whims. So, for my longtime viewers, you guys will remember this is where I would sew things, make things, or just be relatively crafty in the fashion realm and show them and share the process with you guys and talk about the project. Well, that series kind of fizzled and burnt out for me because it was just so much to try to get done weekly, and I never had a backlog of videos. So it caused a problem. It caused me hiccups. So what I'm going to do now is, rather than focusing on doing like 4 projects throughout the month or 4 or 5 projects at the same time, I'm going to just do 1 project a month. And I'm going to share the process with you from start to finish. So it'll be broken down differently, and it's just less stress on me. And then there'll be the random ones where I've done a quick project and just finished it, and I'm going to share with you how it turned out. Like, I have a few of those set aside that I can do. Now, to start with, as an accountability thing for the new year so I can keep doing these projects, I've never had a male dress form before. So my friend, Camille Martin, I'll have a link to her YouTube channel down below, she suggested a pattern from a company called Bootstrap Fashion, which they make female sewing dummies. And it's a custom pattern system, so what you do, in essence, is you go onto their website, and you'll go ahead and you type in your measurements, you'll type in specifics like where the drape is, where the droop is, and how your body is formed, your posture, everything like that, into it, so it can calculate your proper dress form. So I was like, well, I'll see what happens with it. I don't have too high of hopes, because there's a few little things on it, but I'm not sure if that's going to impact too much. Because I haven't started constructing it yet. I've just bought the pattern, I've read through the book, and I've assembled it, which is what we're going to talk about today. So, I bought the pattern, and when you buy the pattern, it comes in 2 forms. It comes with the PDF printout, which is your actual pattern. You can print it at home, or you can have it professionally printed. So, this is the grid of having it printed at home, which I'll include the assembly probably over top of this while I talk. And this is about 45 to 44 pages, I think. It could be 47, of just a grid that you have to glue or tape together, and then you cut out the patterns after you're done, the pattern pieces after you're done. Bear in mind, because I will tell you this, bear in mind, with this pattern, once you start printing it out and you get it all assembled, this is with 90% of your print-at-home PDF patterns, there's a lot of waste that goes into it. But with this one, I was really surprised. This is the bag of trimmings of paper, and let me see if I can pull it out in a stack. This is nothing. You did end up wasting literally 2 pages of, full pages of printer paper. There was no way to really salvage them because I don't know why they included them. You could just completely cut them out of the pattern. It's these 2 pages right here. There's really no reason for these 2. They're pages P37 and P47. There's no real reason to have them, except for along the dotted line of these 2 pages, the P4 and the P7, the P3 and the P7, the 3 and 7 of the P4s, you run across the solid line for this pattern piece right above it. And in truth, it just follows the dotted lines. You just could have cut the dotted line on the other page. It's just weird why it did that. I don't know. I think these are pre-generated by a computer that does all the math for you, which makes it quicker. So that is something that I will tell you. It wastes 2 pages of paper. So if you're going to print this and you're patient and can do the math and skip those pages, I would encourage you to do that. The next part I will talk to you about is pattern assembly wasn't bad. It's very traditional, very easy. I'll have it sped up over the top of that. But now let's talk about the pattern itself. Now, they don't come printed. I took this, I printed it at home. I think this one's a 42-page document. This one's 44. You print this out. I printed it out. I like having hard copies of instructions because in the past I've bought patterns and they send them to you and then you have 48 hours to download them and then the link's dead. Or you have a lifetime to download them. It's give and take. Like through Etsy, it's usually a 48-hour window, and then they're dead links, and then you have the ones that are forever. But so I always print out the patterns if I'm going to buy a pattern online. I took it to Staples, I got it bound. Getting it bound and rushed, it was $5. So I recommend you guys do get them bound. It's worth it at the end of the day. So I have a hard copy, so I'm able to flip through it, make notes in it. I have made notes, like I have my grocery list of things I need to buy, which is right here. And it's just all around together a nice thing to print it. Now, as far as it being a good pattern, the instructions are actually pretty decent. You read through it, very straightforward. There's a few things that I'm kind of like, what? About, but I think they'll make sense once I actually start sewing the pattern together. There are a few hiccupy things that I've already gone through, but that's for another video. And I'll just tell you, overall, approach this with a grain of salt and with a skill level already at hand. So I wouldn't necessarily say this is a beginner's project. It isn't a difficult project if you're going to attempt it as a beginner. You can. I'm sure you'll make a perfectly fine finished product, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's a beginner level project. So I got this from Bootstrap Fashion. I'll have that linked down below too, and I'll have it linked straight to the pattern. I got the plus size pattern because of how big my measurements are, but what I'll say that is prefacing it with a but. I don't know exactly how the cup size works with this. So we will learn together, because I entered in male measurements, so it shouldn't give me an hourglass silhouette, but I'll try to insert over this a preview of the pattern itself, what they say the finished product's going to look like. They give you a computer-generated thing. And in it, it still sticks an hourglass silhouette and a, like, double D cup in there, which I don't have either. My measurements I entered, there's no hourglass silhouette in them whatsoever. I have my printout, my measurements right here, and it literally goes from 51 for bust, 50 for under bust, and 49 for waist. So it should be very triangular, but yeah, we'll see. I gotta sew it before I really give that opinion. But I don't have quite the highest of hopes. Let's see. Let's talk about how the pattern pieces look, and then we'll close it off. So, after you get them assembled, these are what the pattern pieces look like. They're just traditional looking pattern pieces. They're heavier duty, so they will last you longer. You have 2 cup pieces. This is your neck top piece. These are your armhole covers. Actually, this is for the cutout for the cardboard. This is the cutout for the armhole. Then you have the upper center front. You have, this is your neck piece, which I'll be really interested in this. This looks like it would be the coolest collar in the universe if I actually used the shape. So there's the neck piece. This is the cardboard bottom piece. This is the top, well, this is the base support piece. This is the base support front. Then this is the lower side. The lower center front. This is the pipe casing. Inner support. Back inner support. This is the side back. And then this is the center back. Now, I can tell you by looking at the pattern pieces, the preview may not be correct that they send you, so bear that in mind. I would love to do an experiment, because you're allowed a free preview of how the pattern will look. I'd love to do an experiment where I enter in some really grotesquely huge deformed things and see if it'll still do it. So, yeah, I'm going to maybe play around with that and talk about that in a later video, but we will see. Overall, this is the start of it. I have a shopping list written out, which I will talk about in my next video, along with hopefully I bought the goodies by then. I don't know yet. I'm trying to figure out if this is actually worth it, and that we'll talk about way down the line, probably after I finish the product. So, yeah, if you guys have questions or comments, shoot them down below. If you've done this before, please let me know how it turned out. I've seen some Instagram photos, and I've seen some photos from their website, and they look decent. They look like how they're supposed to, and I'm a guy trying to morph a woman's pattern into a man's pattern. So we'll see how that goes. Give me a like, a favorite, subscribe, share this with a friend who likes fashion, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
You like what you see? Then...
Subscribe!